Gee, welcome back or welcome. Today is 7th of March, and again, it's midnight. And today we're going to talk about something that is very close to my heart, like very, very near and dear to my heart. We are talking about being vulnerable and being expressive. Oh, and I am both vulnerable and expressive, which is why I am the best person to talk about this, for sure. Okay. Um, First of all, let's start with vulnerability. I think people often misunderstand being vulnerable and being embarrassed. I think they associate it a little too much. And it just, I don't know why people see it that way, that if you're being a little too expressive about things, you are just being a little like, I don't know, people just don't appreciate it. It's like they'll assume that you're weak. एक तो नॉनचलांट होना इतना ट्रेंड में है, मुझे नहीं पता क्यों. But instead, what I think is that being vulnerable is important and good, because at least you're being your true self, you're being true to yourself, which is, I think, the most important thing that you need to do for yourself and for people around. And as I already mentioned, that as a person, I'm very expressive and very vulnerable, and I just can't keep things to myself. If I'm feeling something, I will tell it to the other person that I am sorry, I feel hurt because of so and so reasons, or or anything positive, because it's emotions, and vulnerability can be both in forms of positive emotions or negative emotions. And I think one of the few of the most important and strongest moments of my life have been these moments when I was truly myself and I was truly vulnerable, where I allowed myself to be free, to not hold on, and like I was not pretending to be anybody else, and I was just being myself. And I don't understand that why have we as a generation made being unbothered seem cool, being like people are pretending that everything's fine, I don't care. I don't understand, that is not cool. How is not caring cool? How is acting unbothered cool? You should care about yourself, people around, your emotions, their emotions. You should. Yeah. And you know instead, I think when you say that, yeah, I was hurt, or when you are being expressive, when you are like, even if you say things like, I'm still trying to process the emotion that I'm going through, or that this is something that really matters to me, or like, because I think all of that does require a lot of courage. And I believe that there's nothing more courageous than being expressive, than caring, than being vulnerable, because that requires a lot from within. And okay, let's be honest, that being vulnerable does put you in a position where you could be misunderstood, you could feel rejected, you could feel judged, you could feel dismissed, you could also feel weak. But we need to like have this clarity in our head that you are being honest in that moment. And honesty is not weakness, honesty is power. That's, again, I would say that's courageous, that's bravery. And I don't know why we are growing up in a generation where we think the opposite is true. That is the way people feel power, strength, that being tough is cool. It is not. We learn that crying, caring for people, showing affection to people, showing up for people, it's all of these things actually help you. All of these things are important. Acting like you're not bothered about a situation that you should be bothered about, that just creates emotional isolation. You start bottling emotions up, you start to pretend you're okay even if you're not, and that is bad, because you start to like build this version of yourself that looks strong on the outside but feels very alone inside and feels very trapped inside, because the emotions are just bottled up. You're not letting yourself be free. And the entire misunderstanding around like being vulnerable is oversharing. No, I mean, you can be vulnerable and not overshare your life, not dump your entire life on people. It's just the ability to be you, just be your real self. It's very simple, as simple as that. um Being vulnerable can show up in things like saying things like, I care, I am hurt, I'm confused, I am learning, all of those situations. And the right people in your life, I would again say that again, the right people in your life would never see it as a weakness. They would instead appreciate, they would make you feel comfortable. And honestly, being vulnerable to the right people would actually feel very safe to you. You would actually feel better after saying all of the things that you want to say. And the right people see that as trust, because yeah, that's how it is. And I think vulnerability actually creates real connections, because you there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of trust. And when someone is honest about their struggles, their fears, their growth, their goals, something just shifts. And I am sure you guys might have experienced this, because I have. As a person, I often overshare as well, specifically with my friends, with my younger brother. I be vulnerable as much as I can be, and that just makes me feel like I'm not alone. I have people around who care, who genuinely care. And you just realize that everyone is navigating their lives and still like being there for you. And no one is as put together as it might seem, because people just like pretend. And vulnerability brings in healing, because you're letting it out. You have somebody safe around to be vulnerable with. That's a process of healing in my head. And you don't have to refuse to acknowledge your feelings, because you truly start to accept your feelings in all of those moments. And let's just take an example. Say if somebody did something really bad and I feel hurt, but I keep saying that it doesn't matter, it's cool, yeah, I don't care. You're just not being emotionally honest to yourself, to that person, and it is going to stay inside, because you know that it matters, you know that you're hurt. And that's not how healing works. I think the strongest people are the people who are emotionally honest, people who are not pretending, people who are not hiding behind unbothered, nonchalant. I think I don't know. I love people who feel deeply, who think deep, who process things deeply, who talk about emotions. There's some depth to things, who are vulnerable, who want to share, who want to talk. And people who are like really chalant, to be a little Gen Z, people who understand themselves, because that all of that just brings a lot of clarity to the intrapersonal aspect, also the interpersonal aspect of things. And I think that's a real strength. um Again, there's a quote that I would want to say about it. It's Vulnerability is the birthplace of connection, and I really believe in it. And if you think deeply about it, deeply, you would just realize that it's true. Every meaningful relationship, think about any meaningful relationship that you have had in your life. It can be romantic, family, friendship. All of those require vulnerability, because if nobody opens up, nobody would really know each other. And then what's the point of having people around? What's the point of having a romantic relationship or family or friends if you cannot be vulnerable with them? You can be open and still protect your peace. You can share and still choose not to overshare. And you are just sharing your truth with people, which is very important, I think. And I would again mention, truths and realities are subjective, but you must share what is your truth and what is your reality. And again, talking about sharing and oversharing, I think the balance is very important, because that's where maturity comes in. And you know, there are times when you might feel embarrassed for sharing deeply, or like for just being yourself or feeling anything strongly, because I don't know why people have made feeling unbothered cool, but it is not. You might feel like expressing yourself is a little embarrassing, but I just want to say that it's not weak, it's not embarrassing. It's just that you are human. You feel things because you are supposed to, because are a human being. You are alive, you are not dead, because dead people do not feel things. You are emotionally present, most importantly. That is it, because you are a human being. And in a world where there are so many people pretending and trying to be numb, being vulnerable is actually rare. So just be that. And the second and the very, very true thing that I want to share is about expressing that. We mostly talked about vulnerability and expressing emotions, but expressing in terms of, I wanted to say that I don't know why do we need to be somebody that we are not. If you like somebody, just tell them. If you think somebody is cute, just tell them. If you feel like this is something that they should have not said and I feel very hurt, just tell them. If you feel like, what is this nonsense she's talking about, just tell me. Just tell them. Just be expressive. Just uh, again, just to clarify, you don't have to go hurt somebody. I don't mean any of that. I am just trying to be like, healthy expressing is what we are talking about here. You can criticize somebody, be constructive about that. You don't have to like go and abuse somebody. That's not what I mean. And I hope you guys are mature enough to understand that. Yeah, that is it. I just want to say that, live life with no regrets. Be expressive, be vulnerable. Even if people judge, it's okay, because you were just being yourself. Why try to be somebody else? Why try to pretend or try to like adjust yourself, edit yourself? No, just be expressive. Just yeah, go sing, whatever, do it. Yeah, that was it. Oh, happy Women's Day in advance, which is tomorrow, but the video might get uploaded very late, July, August. So I don't know, but anyway, every day should be Women's Day according to me. Yeah. Long live feminism. I don't know. I said what I said. I don't know. Oh, also here's a little poster. This poster, I know you cannot see it. This one, yeah. This says that my favorite season is the fall of patriarchy. Happy Women's Day, women. Lovely women. Loving women. I love you all. Take care. Stay beautiful. I'll see you guys in the next video.